Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name's CritterXD. In today's video, I'm going to give you my spoiler-free review of The Wheel of Time Season 3, Episode 1, after watching it at the Global Fan Event on Saturday, March 8th, almost a week before it comes out for everyone. I am a die-hard Wheel of Time book fan who also, so far, has really enjoyed the show. After I talk about spoiler-free stuff, I'm going to get in a little bit to some spoiler stuff. But never fear, you will have ample warning. Before I get into the review, I would say that if you like what you see here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications for when I post new content and go live, and let me know what you thought of Episode 1 if you got to watch it at the Global Fan Event, or in some other way. So without further ado, let's get into it. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that this was probably my favorite Wheel of Time episode to date. Granted, I really loved episode 8 of season 2 because, you know, it made me cry a couple of times. It was very emotional. But I feel like this episode had everything. It had it all. It had insane action sequences. It had amazing visuals. It had characters that I love interacting with each other in ways that were both hilarious and serious and impactful at different times. It had things that I wanted to happen in the books that never happened. It had things that made sense with the books even though they didn't happen exactly in the same way. It had things that I didn't expect them to do in the show that they did, and they did them already in episode 1. So many of the characters felt like their true selves in episode 1 alone. A couple highlights for me were definitely Domhnall Finn as Mat Cauthon and Zoe Robbins as Nynaeve. Domhnall as Mat was the comedic relief, without a doubt. He was hysterical, but he also had this kind of vulnerability based on what happened to him last season. So he feels like such a more complex character than he ever has before. And it's not just him being dark and broody like he was in season 2. And then we have Zoe as Nynaeve. Nynaeve last season she went through a lot, obviously. She had a lot going on, so a lot of her stuff was very serious, very downtrodden. She wasn't sure about her ability to channel, so there was a lot going on. This season, I feel like she's kind of revisited her roots as a wisdom so far. She's warm, she's comforting, but at times she's also got that, I don't know, she's kind of spunky still, which I love. I could literally list all of the characters and tell you how great they were and how they embodied their characters so well, but I'm not going to do that. I'll just say all of them were great. Another highlight for me was definitely Yosha as Rand. I feel like he's gone from the shepherd and he's really becoming the Dragon Reborn and perhaps the Kara Karn. His interactions with a bunch of different characters this episode were just excellent. Like, as a book reader, it was so delightful to see some of the conversations that he was having with people and how perfectly what he was saying and what the other person was saying fit with how those conversations went or would have gone in the books. And when I say this episode has it all, I'm not joking around. It also had romance, intrigue, heartbreak, politicking. There were surprises. There was some really dark stuff that I did not expect. Somehow this episode felt like both the storm, given that first 11-minute insane fight, and the calm before the storm, because we have an entire season to go. So much happened in this episode, but we know that there's going to be so much more that goes down for the rest of the season. Especially because based on what we've seen, we know that the characters are going to be branching out all across the land. And also, if you watch that 11-minute clip, the White Tower fight that they put out before this, so I don't feel as bad about alluding to it, at least without getting into many spoilers, that clip ended before the fight was over. And let me just say that the fight after that was so frickin' cool. Like, it continued being really cool. The way they did some of the weaves during the battle, it was so creative, so interesting, so visually stunning. I can't say enough about the way that the magic system has improved visually, because wow, it looks so good. I am hoping that this episode alone is going to create enough buzz that people are going to be doing rewatches and bringing new people into the show so that we can get a season 4 renewal, because that is the ultimate goal. Watch, rewatch, keep going. Keep adding Sony at Prime Video whenever you're on social media. We want that season 4 and beyond so bad. And I think if we get enough eyeballs on this show because of how incredible it is now, proving itself to be, it's got to be a slam dunk, a walk in the park to get that season 4 renewal. Okay, now I'm going to do episode 1 spoilers, and in so doing, I think I also want to do book spoilers. So let's just say I'm going to spoil the books through book 5. Okay, I apologize. I can't just talk about the episode without also talking about the books with what I want to say about the episode. Okay. Can you believe they went there with Aviendha and Elain? The fact that they are getting together first before either of them gets together with Rand it's perfect. They're having an actual polycule, and instead of Rand being, the center of the wheel and all the girls spoking out from it. They always had a strong bond, and it was so queer coded in the books that the fact that they're just like taking that leap is perfection for me. Also, Rand's interaction with them individually, it fit with his interactions with them in the books so well. This antagonistic relationship with Aviendha, this, I don't want to say mentor, but this like consultative relationship with Elain, both of them, so fabulous. It sets a foundation for what's to come. Loved the little snakes and foxes Easter egg during the bar scene, so good. The fact that Mat is staying behind in Tar Valon, and the fact that there was a twisted redstone doorframe in the ter'angreal room makes me think that Mat is going to go through the twisted doorframe in the White Tower. Official prediction. And if that happens, oh my god, amazing. And even though he's not going to Ruidion, that to me just means that he might do the other part of the doorframe in Tyr next season, or it's not going to be 2 trips, it's just going to be 1 trip, all combined in the White Tower twisted doorframe. Did anybody else almost cry in the scene with Lan and Nynaeve? Also, I guess, that's just a spoiler for the episode, but like, he gave her the ring. I was so happy. Also, I feel so bad for Egwene. Obviously, she's going through it as she should be. PTSD is a real thing, but wow. Her accepted test, I wish we could have seen the whole thing. Runtime is an issue here. If we could get more episodes, I assume would have gotten the entire test. Maybe we'll get flashbacks to it, but to me, I feel like I wish it wouldn't have been off the page or off the screen. Nynaeve's was so good. It was so heart-wrenching, and then we just got that little bit of Egwene's. It was just, you know how much I love Egwene. I wish we would have gotten a little more. Also, the bubble of evil being turned into something that Lanfear was doing to them in league with Moiraine, that was a choice. I can see Moiraine dealing with the devil in order to get what she wants, as long as her end pursuit, the end goal is in furtherance of the light. I can see her doing that, but like, damn, that was harsh. Also, the fact that Moghedien creates gray men, and she did it with Jaichim. Jaichim was a dark friend, right? In the books, at least. It's so interesting that she's going to use him in that way. Also, the visual of that, the webs branching off of him. Oh my god. That was so freaking cool, right? I also absolutely loved just anything where the kids are hanging out, right? The Maiden's Kiss game, and then after the fact, Mat shows up and he's got cuts all over his neck. It was fabulous. So freaking good. And then one of the maidens like winks at him later. Ugh, I love it. And again, Elain and Aviendha's relationship cannot say enough things. And how Elain was doing like a little bit of maiden hand talk. I'm so happy with that. Oh, and I didn't even mention Moiraine saving Swan. I was waiting for Moiraine to show up, and then she did just at the nick of time, and the look that they gave each other. Frigid. Holy, that was so good. The way they communicated with just looks. Those two actresses are legendary, so it makes sense that they really nailed that. Oh, and Swan, like, digging out of the shield. That's what I meant when I said some of the things they did visually were just unbelievable to look at. They were so cool. The decisions they made were great. And we did expect this, but Yvonne going down, there was a new actor. You hate to see it, but I can't say that I was surprised. And I feel like I've talked long enough. That is all I'm going to say about Season 3, Episode 1. I could be happier if it was longer so that we could get Egwene's full test. That would have made it even better, but what we saw, it was I am immensely pleased. I am so happy with what I've seen so far, and my hype could not be more for what's to come. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments, and once again, if you like what you see here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications for when I post new content and go live, and if you want to take your support to the next level, you could become a member on YouTube or a patron on Patreon. I want to thank my incredible members and patrons. You guys are thebomb.com. Your support means so much and is incredibly motivating. All right, that's really going to be it for me. Until next time. Bye!